It just hit me today.
All right, we will call the Plan Commission meeting to order.
You should.
Everybody have a chance to take a look at the minutes?
Move to approve. Second.
Got a motion second to approve. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. We have a public hearing. Public hearing on conditional use permit application for a quick lane oil change and car wash at 900 O'Keefe Road and 2000 Crestview Drive, Carousel Motor Group, Hudson Ford. So this is a public hearing. It's your, do we have anybody on Zoom?
We don't.
All right, so it's your opportunity to weigh in on this proposal. And anybody has a comment, if you would please come to the podium, identify yourself and where you live, and try to keep your comments brief, and also try not to repeat other people's comments. Having said all that, is there anybody that would like to comment on this? Any comment? Any comment? Any comment?
I will move that we close the public hearing if nobody wants to say anything.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Public hearing is closed. Conditional use permit application for a quick lane oil change and car wash at 900 O'Keefe Road and 2000 Crestview Drive, Carousel Motor Group, Hudson Ford.
Good evening, everyone. So tonight, the Carousel Motor Group has submitted a CUP application to operate an automobile service station and car wash facility. They held a neighborhood meeting on July 18th wherein no one in the area attended despite being notified. The quick lane and car wash facility would be 13,600 square feet in area, containing a 12-bay auto service maintenance facility. The car wash will be used by staff during service hours, which those hours are planned to be 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Saturday, with a total of 21 employees on site. Staff finds no concerns at this time with the concept development plans or conditional use permit, so we would recommend approval for now of the conditional use permit. The next step would be the concept development plans.
I'll move for approval with any city conditions that it would have with it. I'll second it.
Motion and second to approve. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Concept plans for a quick lane oil change and car wash at 900 O'Keefe Road and 2000 Crestview Drive, Carousel Motor Group, Hudson Ford.
So yeah, same item, same business, same model.
And the applicant is here if you did have any specific questions about the site or their proposal.
Well, I think since we've had some history on that, we knew the prior owner had bought the express rental to convert it right into that this is just the orderly transgression of changing that property to the use that they want it to, which I think is, you're gonna improve it. So if I have to be the first one to do it again, I will move for approval with any city stipulations. I'll second it again.
We got a motion and second to approve. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Concept development plan review for 1616 Crestview Drive Festival Foods. 1616 Crestview Drive Festival Foods concept development review issue sheet.
Yep. So Festival Foods now, they've also submitted a concept development plan to be reviewed by city staff and plan commission tonight. They are proposing to develop 1616 Crestview to accommodate a 68,000 square foot grocery store that would offer grocery products, a full service hot food bar, extensive deli and bakery, produce, meat and seafood selections, and wine and spirits department and catering services. Other amenities that they do plan to include would be a food court with seating area, Asian stir fry, sushi, gourmet popcorn stand, and caribou coffee. There is also planned to be a designated covered pickup area on the east side of the building for click-and-go online order pickups. Staff recommends approval of the concept development plans, understanding the applicant will also be submitting final plans later on to be submitted and reviewed by you all and staff.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and second to approve. Any discussion?
I have a couple things dealing with traffic on Crestview Drive. In the letter from Festival Foods, it states that one of the bullets, two main access points to the development are proposed and will be shared via access easement with the adjacent users. Well, the adjacent users are the rental place and the hotel. How is that going to work? What do you envision that?
Won't we get into that, you know, after they submit their final plan, and then we ask these specific questions, because I've done the same thing, not to be rude here, but
Okay.
is the question premature, and we'll get to those issues, or is now the time to ask them?
I don't think it's premature to ask them now, especially since the next item coming up is actually going to be the certified survey map, which
Please
staff
excuse me.
talks about accessibility easements in our
Yeah,
report.
I can wait till
That-
then to,
You could, or you could talk about it now, whatever you
I'll
prefer.
wait till then.
Okay.
Well, please excuse me, I didn't know if I was out of line in my statement, so.
No, you weren't.
I mean, once we approve it, they will have to come back for their final approval, and then we'll talk about the ins, the outs, the access to maybe Fleet Farm property, I mean, and who knows, whatever we could come up with, and that's the way I always
Right.
understood it, so.
We're on concept.
We can speak out here, but we are happy to answer all those questions.
You know, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, we've got the question asked already, you know what it is. I'm sure you have the right answer, right?
Right.
So,
If you'd like to come,
yeah, why don't you come on up and identify yourself?
If we need to, I have the plans up on my computer here. We can share them to everybody unless we have them in front of you as well. Thank you, Grant Ducatch with Excel Engineering, 100 Camelot Drive in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, civil engineer working with Festival Foods on this project. So there were some questions in regards to access. I'm happy to answer those. We do have a lot of information on that, and definitely forward-moving information as well. So I don't know if you want to ask a specific question or if you just want me to elaborate off of the information that you've described in your brief questions that you previously stated.
well, I had that question specifically about the access to the adjacent properties.
Okay.
I also have another one regarding, I read somewhere in the PDF that this came out on, that there was a pending traffic impact survey, but I see no results from that, so I'd be
Okay,
interested
good.
in that also.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'll answer those questions. So in regards to the access, is it the northeast access?
Thinking about
Or the eastern access point?
and the west. I mean, the west would be to the hotel, the east would be to the rental place.
Okay, and you're talking about hotel as a potential future lot within this development? or-
Well, you mentioned the adjacent properties. Are you talking about the existing adjacent properties? The existing adjacent
Correct.
properties
There's,
are,
to the west, the existing hotel, there's no shared access,
okay,
okay? There's potential for a development. We're showing potentially a hotel, nothing's locked in on one of the remaining lots within the development. So that would be shared there's 3 lots within this, which we'll get to the CSM. I'm assuming Tiffany's gonna get there. With the festival, along with 2 other lots, there'll be 3 lots on this. Festival's retaining 1 lot. The sellers of the property are retaining the other 2 lots. And those would have shared access.
okay,
But no property to the west would have shared access.
okay.
The eastern access is slightly different. There is an existing shared access agreements. There's agreements and rights in place, and that is what I would call the Fleet Farm property. I believe Fleet Farm has rented that in the past, their storage building. It actually isn't the commercial property on the corner. There's a small strip of land separating that. So the commercial property, that I believe is that the rental property that you're referring to, that doesn't have any existing rights to that access. It's the Fleet Farm storage property does. So there are agreements in place for a shared access point at that location, which we're proposing to remain in place
All right,
at that location.
all right, thank you.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Then I still have one about the pending traffic survey or impact survey that I read somewhere, but I don't know if you want to address that now or hold off.
Yeah, and we don't have, so there's a traffic impact analysis that's in progress, and that was something that we've been working with city staff in order to address any concerns with the property and make sure that everything's going to function appropriately with the proposed 2 driveway access points with this. So that's in progress. We're expecting the results very soon. High level right now, everything is very favorable to what we're showing. That's the information that I have from the traffic engineer but we don't have definitive results. That's something that we will be getting here in the short future and the near future, and we're going to be discussing with staff to make sure everything is in line. But that is in progress.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Did you?
No, I was out of line. He wanted to ask
Well,
questions.
I jumped the gun. I
No.
Not necessarily.
And I guess since we're up here and we know that northeast access has been a discussion point with city staff, is there any concerns that the Plan Commission has? We're here in the concept state. We'd like to flush out as much as we can here ahead of our final
As
submittals.
long as you're asking, and I have requested this out of other developments towards the south of the city, that you stub out electrical for the stoplights that are probably gonna have to might go in up there if it calls for it on your traffic study.
Okay.
I would like to see you guys incur the cost of stubbing that out.
Okay, it's good feedback, thank you.
I have a question in regards to employment. You listed, and if I recall correctly from what I read, that most of the employees of the store will be part-time employees, less than 40 hours a week, less than 30 hours a week. How many full-time employees will the store have, and will they be people that will be able to afford houses and live in Hudson? Always curious about that.
Sure.
If,
Great.
yep. If
He's
they-
newly retired, he's looking for a full-time job.
He knows me, he can give me the low blows.
Good evening, Aaron Aspenson, Festival of Foods. Thanks for the question, Fred. The answer to that is typically the spread is about 70% part-time, 30% full-time. And the reason for that is because that's a large number of associates, and a lot of the part-time associates are actually in high school. It's a great first job. A lot of them are college students, so usually it's 70-30. As far as the living wage question, we do offer competitive salaries. We are an ESOP company, so we are part employee-owned. And then we also have benefits, healthcare, other benefits that are very incentivizing.
Well, it sounds like a type of company we would like to have here
We'd
then.
love to have you.
Thank you, thank you.
Just to clarify my comment on the stubbing out of the stoplight potential electrical, that would be on the west, not necessarily next to, obviously, Industrial Street. We don't need it there.
Okay.
But to try to divert traffic away from that intersection is the potential bottleneck I see on that east exit entrance.
Sure. Okay. No, I appreciate that, and like I said, thanks, Aaron. Like I said, the initial feedback that we're getting from the traffic engineers is very favorable what we have designed right now.
Okay.
So I appreciate that feedback. My inclination, I don't want to put anything in stone. The final report documentation is getting finished as we speak, really, literally. But everything's indicating that it's very favorable to our design.
One last question to tag in along with Roger's kind of thought here, and I'm gonna be more specific, is, you butt up to a lot of the Fleet Farm property. Mostly on the south side there, and maybe on some on the east side. I don't know how the lots run up there, but it would really help with traffic if there could be some inter-property movement between the Festival Food property and, say, the Fleet Farm. I'm not saying that that's any of our business, but I think it would take a ton of weight off the road, people going up. They could avoid lights, they could avoid intersections, if there was any way to do that.
Yeah.
I guess I'm encouraging it if there's a way, and if everybody's amicable for that.
Yeah, and we actually were thinking the same thing. So I don't know, do you have a copy of the plans?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so we actually did.
I read them, but I can't remember everything, so.
Sure, yeah, no problem at all. So on that southeast side of the property, we are showing a stub to the Fleet Farm. So basically there will be cross-access into the Fleet Farm, and it basically runs in front of their store. So it stubs up nicely from the back of our parking lot into the Fleet Farm. So we agree with you, that would really help with ingress and egress and traffic flow between the two properties.
Right.
So we are planning on doing that. I have verbal approval from Fleet Farm that actually is going to happen on their end. They're for that idea as well.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else?
I'll move for approval.
There's already a
It's already
motion.
been- Oh,
Yeah.
It was.
I'm asleep.
Motion by Pat, seconded by Randy.
Excuse me.
Okay. No other questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Losing it.
Motion's approved.
I'm getting old.
Certified survey map for Festival Foods at 1616 Crestview Drive, Crestview Holdings LLC.
So once again, this is in relation to the Festival Foods project. They have also submitted a certified survey map to be reviewed. Pretty much they're reorganizing or defining where the lot lines are going to be for all the lots that apply to this development itself. There's about 4 tax parcels that are actually involved, but they're merging a couple of them and turning them into 3 distinct lots, one of which is going to be meant to accommodate the future grocery store parcel, Lot 2, and then Lots 1 and 3 are proposed to be future commercial business development opportunities.
Makes sense.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
We got a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion?
Just one more question on this traffic survey. When do you anticipate that being finalized?
Thank you for that question. We are anticipating having the traffic study complete, I would say, within the next week. And our process is, once we have that complete and ready to go, we will submit that to staff for review. And if there's any collaboration or revisions that need to happen, we'll coordinate with staff to have that done. So to answer your question, I'd say approximately 1 week. To coordinate with staff for review and approval, I would give it a couple more weeks than that for a rough timeline. All the data has been collected. It's in the analysis and report stage right now. And to also reiterate or to give you some more insight on that, once the field data was collected and we pulled together the exhibits, we did share that with city staff so that we have our distribution, we have our turning, that we have everything set up the way that they feel is acceptable as far as how the traffic is being dispersed and displayed within that traffic report. So we have been working hand in hand with staff throughout the process.
May I piggyback on that? Is that traffic study including the 2 extra businesses that are coming in, or just
Correct.
Festival
It is a
Foods?
master plan.
Okay.
And it is actually a master plan of the worst case scenario. So the lot 1, which is the western lot of this development proper, our concept plans are showing a potential hotel that's a placeholder. We coordinated with city staff and we're actually showing that as being a more high-use retail so that we could cover whatever goes in there.
Okay.
So we're actually, the traffic study is forecasting higher traffic than what we actually even have within our development so that we're modeling the worst case scenario.
Thank you.
And in addition to that, just to answer your question, we talked about the Fleet Farm access point to the south. We did not include that in our traffic analysis. That will relieve some traffic off the site. But again, we modeled the absolute worst case for this development. So we're conservative as far as our traffic study.
Okay.
All right, everybody good?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Certificate of compliance for Latin services at 2521 Hanley Road, Suites 300 and 600. Iro Venicio Serengo.
So this applicant has submitted a certificate of compliance for a multi-use business at 2521 Hanley Road, Suites 300 and 600. The business has been in operation in Suite 600 and now plans to expand into Suite 300 as well. Latin Services assists the Hispanic community through international wire transfer services and grocery offerings, including dry goods and frozen foods that cannot be found in a traditional grocery store. The business is further proposing to offer fresh meat to customers. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., and the business owners are forecasting to have approximately 40 to 50 customers daily. We do recommend approval from staff's opinion. This is very compliant with our current regulations, so
I beg your pardon?
this is compliant with code regulations, so.
That's up in the industrial park, correct?
So the thing that caught my attention here is the international wire transfer services.
Like banking for,
I understand that.
yes.
International?
To Mexico or elsewhere?
Mexico?
Yeah.
It's like,
David, you got an answer?
So it's like Western Union. That's one of the services that they provide is Western Union. So if I'm I actually happened to recently buy a place in Mexico, and I have to send money down to one of my vendors down there. I use their services to send money down to Mexico to pay my vendors, but it could also be if I was from Mexico and I was up here working and sending money back to my family, I would use this service because it's inexpensive compared to doing a bank wire transfer through a traditional lender. But it's basically a Western Union.
Yeah, okay.
Okay?
Will this be open to the public?
Yes. And it's on the way up to Business Park. It's not actually in the Business Park. It's where Dunn Brothers and Herberts and Gerberts is.
Right in that,
Yep.
right in the corner of that.
Yep. Just for clarity.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? But they've been in existence for a year and a half now, and we've had no issues with them as a tenant or anything to do with their customers, so they've been a very high quality tenant.
Cool, thank you.
I'd say that's a welcome addition to Hudson to get some diversity in here and get some different and offering some services that aren't widespread, so that's a good thing for us to have. I'm not gonna, am I out of line to move for approval?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion?
I stepped my foot in it. Guys.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Downtown design review for 155 Second Street, Suite 6, Bella Blue Salon and Suites.
So this is pretty much an easy switch out of signage, replacing Class and River reflection signs on the building to be Bella Blue Salon and Suites. The square footages are pretty much going to be exactly the same as what the existing signs are, if not maybe smaller. Likewise, with the illumination levels, it's going to be exactly the same as what's there. So, be that as it may, it is meeting downtown design review guidelines, NR 118, and sign code restrictions in our code. So therefore, I would recommend approval from staff's perspective.
Move to approve?
Second. Second.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. We have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Downtown design review for Wildlife Goods at 408 Second Street, Brittany Engelson.
So here the applicant is requesting to repaint the exterior facade of the building. The existing conditions consist of tan bricks and concrete with metal trim around the window and door frame. The facade repaint proposal would be to paint the bricks white with black accents above the brick area and around the window trim as shown in the depiction in your packets. Staff finds this to meet downtown design guidelines in terms of facade color treatments being limited to 2 primary colors, but the high reflective white would be recommended by staff to be altered to a more muted white to further comply with municipal code's low reflectance color requirement in downtown. Any questions, comments?
I'll move for approval.
I'll second that with conditions, as you
Yeah.
said, with the paint and all that stuff being part of it.
Okay.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
When you said about the white, you know,
Would you come up, identify yourself, please, and ask your question?
Yeah, I'm Madeline Johnson, and I own the building. She's my renter. Now, when you said, the samples I sent you?
Yep.
Now, is the white okay, or did you want it more muted?
More muted.
Do we have to,
Get up here.
Hi, I'm Brittany. Would you rather us bring a new strip and go over it again?
Yeah, if you
With a
could,
different white?
just drop one off at the front desk and I'll make sure that it's compliant.
Okay, sounds
Yeah,
good.
and pretty much anything that's muted from high reflective would
Makes
be,
sense.
yeah, good
Okay.
to go.
Thank you.
Not as shiny.
Okay.
Thank you. Everybody good?
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. I don't have anything. Anybody?
May I bring up an issue that I asked about once before?
Maybe after we're adjourned.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I inquired, I don't know, a couple meetings ago about the dumpsters over in the parking lot over there.
Yeah.
And I drove through there last week, and there was a fence crew putting up a fence. And I stopped and I asked them, I said, what's going on? And they said, well, we've been hired to put up a fence enclosure. And I said, in the city parking lot? And he says, yeah. He says, I really feel uncomfortable about that. But he says, yeah. And I said, well, who's hired you to do that? And he says, well, Mr. Pete Foster has. So I'm just bringing that to our attention. Is that a city policy that people can use our parking lots for their dumpsters, or what's going on? I mean, I'm only saying this not to be a bad guy to Pete, but boy, if you do it for one, you gotta do it for all. So, I don't know.
So you're requesting an agenda item?
I'm asking just for clarity, to get it straightened out to the best interest of everybody.
Put it on the next agenda.
Well, there are various dumpster agreements between the city or Mr. Foster or other individuals. The Public Works Department does manage those, and I know they were kind of waiting until at least the parking lot got fully paved and whatnot. But staff could certainly reach out to the Public Works Department and see the status of those agreements.
You have another example of where the Public Works is renting out space or to
I
dumpsters?
don't know off the top of
Because
my
I can't
head.
think of one.
Is
Okay.
it rented or is it just
So
an
what-
agreement
this
to
is,
use?
this is not on the agenda, but we will put it on the agenda.
I would like to see it on the agenda.
All right.
Just to get it straightened out. And fair.
Yep, okay. Anybody else?
That's it.
Move to adjourn?
Second?
Motion and second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Stand adjourned. Thanks, everybody.